This is what everyone knows Newcastle for, football. But I'm going to tell you about something much, much better.
They want to know about Islam, we'll give them dawah. They want to know what a Muslim does, we'll give them dawah. When they want to hate on...
In 2012, I was a non-Muslim who walked into my local masjid. I met the brothers there from IDC. This was a team of brothers who told me about the message of Islam in detail. I took my shahada. The brothers, they didn't just leave me there. You know, they supported me, provided me new Muslim classes, and after all these years, I became the head of the new Muslim department here at IDC, teaching other new Muslims, supporting them and mentoring them, just like I was supported. IDC is not just your typical charity. We have our Islamic awareness stalls engaging with non-Muslims in our local city centre and answering all their questions about Islam, public events and exhibitions for non-Muslims to come learn about Islam, masjid visits for the local community, school visits teaching non-Muslim kids and staff about Islam. We visit the elderly and spend time with them regularly to give them companionship, feeding the homeless every single week, giving them hot meals and advice. We make the children smile every single year by visiting them in the hospitals and giving them gifts. So many people have taken their shahada with us.
Ashhadu
an
la
la
ilaha
ilaha
illallah.
Because of this, we then provide new Muslim classes for them and support them on their journey. Please, please, please give whatever you can. Do you know how much you can afford? Better than myself. Some of us can give £10, some of us can give £500, and every single person that accepts Islam, you will get a portion of that reward. The Prophet, peace be upon him, he said that charity does not decrease our wealth. So brothers and sisters, believe in those words and give for the sake of Allah. And Allah, inshallah, will increase it for you. Click the button and donate now.
They want to know about Islam, we'll give them dawah. They want to know what a Muslim does, we'll give them dawah. When they want to hate on our deen, we'll give them dawah.
Okay, I think I'm going to...
I think Johnny's supposed to introduce it.
Really? Was it me?
Yeah, you're live now, Johnny.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I have two very special guests. There is one, Sheikh Imran, brother, and my third. So today we will be speaking about how to get involved in Dawah. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by is that there's so many people that they want to give Dawah, they want to get engaged in Dawah, but they don't have enough resources, they don't have enough time or opportunity to get involved in Dawah, to come to AIDA, get course, get trained, and go out, share the message of Islam. Not everybody can do that. So today we'll discuss how can you give Dawah by being you in your comfort zone. So Nadeem Bhai will continue and explain what are the ways. He has a long list on his phone. Earlier he showed me. So inshallah, I'm excited to know that. Nadeem Bhai, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Johnny. Assalamu alaikum, brother Imran. And assalamu alaikum to those who are watching. Welcome to the show. Jazakallah khair, brother Johnny. There's a long list. In fact, I was thinking, inshallah, maybe I'll blog this, and when I blog it, then we can share it. Then people can have some ideas. Later after the show, they can watch this. But the way I want to ask the questions, and we'll come to the comments in a minute. MashaAllah, wa alaikum salams and salams are coming in. Johnny,
Yes, sir.
what ways are you involved in Dawah? Can you give like a list of things how you are involved and have been involved? So that may trigger some ideas. Then I'll ask the question to Imran as well. So how are you involved, bro, on a practical level?
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Yeah, there are so many ways. Actually, there's a good thing like how I'm giving Dawah. Obviously, I'm involved with the Dawah organization. That's one of the part of my job. I'm doing it. And also another thing is, I try to carry myself in a way. I'm trying to. It's not like when I say things, not definitely by achieve that maqam, that status. But I try to carry myself in a way that when people sees me, they get a message. So like when I work in a non-Muslim environment, so the way I carry myself, the way I speak to them, I try to make a difference. That's one form of Dawah. The another thing is, people often have a misconception that Dawah is all about going out and give Dawah or get trained by some organization like we have IERA. It's not all about that. And that's why even our Islam says, like, if you know even one ayah, go out and speak to them. That's the thing. That's how important Dawah is. So now there's a way of giving Dawah. Number one, the way I'm giving Dawah, I told like I'm a distribution manager. So when I spend the people order the materials, like I have here, there are thousands of materials. When people order from different parts of the world, and I intend every time that I'm sending out this materials, somebody inshallah will accept Islam, and I get the share of that. Inshallah, bidnillahi ta'ala. And like I said, in a workplace, bro, the best form of dawah is your akhlaq. This you can tell people like so many flowers. What if you are like, mashallah, Imran is very eloquent in his speech. Mashallah, tabarakallah. I look up to him. But the best form of dawah when you show your khuluq, when you show your akhlaq, that
I
way you
wanna,
deal with the
Johnny,
people.
with respect, I want to challenge you there slightly because, and the reason why I'm challenging you is because a lot of brothers and sisters, I think this is something they all want to do and are doing only, right? Just akhlaq. And it's usually the people who say this are the ones that are not conveying, whether it's on a one-to-one level, whether it's street dawah, whether it's making videos, whether it's organizing exhibitions. I've noticed that this is me, and you brothers can disagree. They always kind of hide behind this out. You know, brother, the best dawah is your akhlaq. But whereas I say ikhlaq and conveying, yeah,
Yes.
talking, calling to Allah verbally, actually on a verbally, and not just akhlaq. And you both go together, inshallah. Just your thought on that, bro. I'm sure that's what
Yeah.
you agree
Yeah,
with.
absolutely. Yeah, Nadeem, but thanks for explaining the thing. That's actually so true. It's sometimes we're just so busy, like, or maybe I don't know what is the thing. Is sometimes we shy to call people to Islam. We don't want to go that part. Like, I just want to be nice to my colleague. I just want nice to be
Yeah,
helpful. But at the same time, to explain to them that they need Islam. So, the whole all human beings that dying out of thirst of spiritual vacuum they have, they need Islam. I
yeah,
need to understand that. Though my friend, I'm being nice to him. I'm lending my car to him. But the more important that I speak to him the purpose
yeah,
of life, why
yes,
he is here. If when I explain that and give them Islam, I shouldn't be shying away.
yeah,
That, bro, look, you have a creator, and this is what I believe. The
yeah,
concept of Islam, this is what all the Muslims worship. The concept of God, the oneness of God. Bro, there is nothing more powerful than Tawheed. The beauty
yes.
of Islam is the Tawheed is so simple. When you explain to someone, they understand.
And
They're inclined to the fitra. They
Johnny,
understand.
you'd agree, and I'm going to get Imran on this, is that I think the best scenario, the ideal scenario, is if you're in an office and or you have neighbors, right? You show the best akhlaq, you show the best manners, you go out of your way, you show what Islam teaches, you show you're like a personification of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he said, I was sent to perfect manners. Yeah, you did all that for months and years. And then let's say the person's so impressed, he even tells you, the office colleague or the neighbors tells you, you mate, you got such amazing manners, you're such a nice guy, you Muslims are so good. But then that's it. And I think a lot of Muslims, they leave it at that and they hope that they'll come to Islam. This is where we need to, now, the ideal scenario, you show your akhlaq. Now you just say, well, Steve, let me tell you about Islam. Or have you ever thought about the purpose of life? Can I tell you about the foundation of Islam? That's what's not happening. We're just thinking, let's leave it akhlaq and not verbally call. So what we need to have of the two, inshallah. Yes, Imran Bhai, what are you saying, bro, on this?
Assalamu alaikum. So look, yeah, I completely agree. I think when it comes to characteristics and giving da'wah, we have to really understand how these two things interact with each other, right? If you take the sort of idea which you challenged with Johnny, which was that characteristics, bro, let's face it, yeah, many people have good characteristics, yeah. A lot of people have good characteristics. Sadhguru, for example, as most people that know of him, is a very popular sort of new age spiritual teacher and guru type online. He has good manners on the surface, right? But at the same time, he will very easily interchange God with God knows how many different things, and he'll make up gods, and he'll say some very strange things about God, which most people wouldn't agree with, right? So the point is, manners. Many people can have good manners. So what we have to do is we have to understand when it comes to manners and characteristics, they're an integral part of the dawah. The dawah can't flourish without good manners and etiquettes. However, they are not. You can't say dawah is manners in and of itself. Full stop. You can't. That's not the right way of looking at it. It's to give dawah is to convey the message fundamentally, to deliver the message. However, for the message to arrive at its to its person, its recipient, properly and clearly, it has to be couched in good manners and good conduct and good etiquettes. That's the key. So when you engage with people, when you share the message, do it with good characteristics, right? And if you're not sharing, if you're just in the process of displaying good manners, then have the intent that that's leading up to that direct conveyance, right? It's not just a case of manners in and of itself and full stop. Because like, bro, if that was the case, then that's dangerous, bro, because many different people from many different backgrounds and many different strange views have good manners too, no doubt, right? That doesn't mean now people where do people go then? Non-Muslims, people that are not aware, that are looking into the spiritual path, they will get influenced by many different people that way. So we have to ensure that we deliver the message to. Inshallah, it's very, very important to have that balance between the two things.
Excellent, bro. Jazakallah. So, Imran, question for you. Can you perhaps, in a list of reasons, inspire the brothers and sisters how you're involved in the da'wah, like on a practical level? So what are your day-to-day, weekly, monthly kind of activities in the last few years?
My particular involvement at the moment, right? So initially when I started off, it was very heavy on street dawah, very heavy on one-to-one grassroots engagement. Currently, my main focus is twofold. Number one, it's trying to support and help the dawah from IRIS perspective, so in the UK and whichever way I can. So this is sort of facilitating for du'at, making sure that they're happy with the materials that they have, that they're happy with the training, they're happy if they need anything else, that we're there to support them, etc. And the second way is that I'm also more focused on engaging online, so on YouTube, etc., and these platforms at the moment. That's that's why I'm focusing on them at the moment.
Brilliant. And brothers, I've noticed none of you mentioned my most favorite style, which is street dawah. So Johnny, you are involved in street dawah, right? Now and again, not regularly, but now and again, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing else. Just a yeah.
No, I didn't get your question, bro. You said that if I'm involved with the street dawah.
Yeah. So you didn't mention it at the beginning, but I know, mashallah, I've seen your pictures, I've seen your photos, that you're one of the regular people on street dawah, which I think is the most. I mean, look, street dawah, I'm very passionate about it. I think it's an amazing method. There are other brothers that disagree, but I think it's the reason why they got disagreement, because I think they've not understood the vibe probably properly, and that there's a whole array of styles of doing street dawah. Because I think a lot of brothers they just do it one style and that's it. So, but anyway, that's just one way, and campus dawah is another way. But inshallah, we're going to touch upon this in a minute.
Yeah,
inshallah.
The street dawah, subhanallah, there will be agreement, disagreement is not the problem. The thing is, I personally believe, like Allah says in the Quran, like I mentioned it so many times, like people are different. Like you find it amazing to be in the street. I find it as well. I like as well. I go, but like when people have a disagreement, let them have a disagreement. But I'm thinking like when I go I find it amazing. So you get to meet so many people, like it's an amazing thing. But obviously you have to have that mindset that people sometimes give you a dirty look. Especially if you're in London or maybe in the South Hall. So you'll get that. I remember you told me a long time ago, as a da'i, you should grow a thick skin. People's comments shouldn't go under your skin straight away. That's important. And if I have a light skin like Imran has, then I don't think it's the right platform.
I don't know where this conversation is going. So
I don't know what Johnny's getting with this conversation about light skin, dark skin. Look, at the end of the day, bro, I think one thing I agree with Johnny about is that everyone has their own preferences, and put aside preferences, everyone has things that they're good at and skilled at. So they should really channel their energies in that direction more so than anywhere else, right? But that being said, it's every type of or aspect to the dawah in the times that we live in has its place and time. There's a place for dawah online, there's a place for dawah on the street, there's a place for distributions and material, and there's a place for X, Y, and Z, right? So I think it's important, and it's a good message we're getting out, which is be holistic and be creative with the way you deliver the message within the realms of Islam, right? Don't obviously being creative doesn't mean go off on some crazy tangents, right? Within what's allowed, be as creative as you like, and think of novel and new ways of getting involved in the da'wah and sharing the message. That's the key.
Bro, you just said the key word, creative. because I really believe once you give this some thought and you are creative, creativity flows once you give it some thought. I want to give one example, inshallah, and I touched upon it yesterday, and I don't know why I've got an echo. Is it me or is it you, brothers?
I think Imran.
Imran, sort it out, please, bro. Jazakallah. Okay, so what I wanted to share is, mashallah, sisters in Karachi, and I think this could be emulated around the world. There's a lockdown taking place right now, yeah, in most countries and everywhere. We can't meet people, there's social distancing, etc., etc. So everything is online now, yeah. Even IRA have got this campaign of viral awakening, which I think we should all support and look into it. There's some really good videos. There's one came out today as well on the IRA channel on YouTube. We should all try and reach out to people who are online, because they're sitting there, we're sitting there, they're sitting there. It's just a matter of connecting and communicating. So the idea is that you organize like an online seminar or online conference. Offline, face-to-face, the conferences, you have a venue, you promote it, tickets, posters, etc. You invite people, they come, there's a mic, stage, audience, and then there's conveying. You can still do that, but everything online. So for example, I know there's some brothers and sisters here who are involved in dawah to Muslim youth rather than non-Muslims. So with Muslims, as an example, the sisters, again, this is for sisters as well, mashallah, they use a Zoom link, because a lot of sisters are not comfortable coming on YouTube, which is a big platform. Anybody can see you. Zoom is controlled, so you only have females. So all female online conference seminar. There are two sisters, and they talked about the purpose of life. And the people that attended this, it just took place 2 days ago, are people who are non-practicing, a couple of people who had shubahat about Islam, away from Allah, everything. So the whole discussion was, and this is different to a course, by the way, because there's a lot of courses, tafsir courses, hadith courses, Arabic courses. There's a lot of lectures by scholars, ulama. There's plenty, mashallah. There's so many, alhamdulillah. But for non-practicing people and for non-Muslims, I've not seen any online conference or seminars taking place. Even the non-Muslims are doing conferences and seminars. I've seen it. Christian missionaries, I see these adverts. They're having audiences come in Zoom. 20, 30 different windows have opened up, and the speakers coming. So it's an online virtual conference. So I'm sure we could do that, inshallah, brothers and sisters. That's just one idea of many. So yeah, what do you think, brothers?
Yes, so many ideas, man. Johnny, mashallah, restarted his channel, People of Reason as well. He started doing videos in Bangla, and he's done already. I think he's done 2 videos already. So there's so many things you could do. And for him, like, one of the things he's got, which is unique, which is he's got good grasp on his language, and there is a need, right? Because no one is doing it. So look for niches as well. I would also say, don't just, if someone's doing something and it's working, don't just do the same thing. Try to see if you can find a niche, as an area that's being missed, or something that people aren't really, focusing on. For example, another example with Johnny, mashallah, he brought this whole idea of love. Obviously it's a part of the dawah, and we have to be loving and compassionate. But mashallah, Johnny, he, especially last year and the guys that are here on Newcastle FM probably remember this, when there was Johnny show. He, mashallah, and some of the brothers will pull his leg for it, and just give him a hard time about this. But he talked about love and compassion, love and love and love and love, and he drilled this point home. And although we were messing around with him and pulling his leg at the time, but he's made a very important point: is that love, bro. Like, here's the proof of it, bro. How many times, and you guys can attest to this, how many times have Christians come to us and said, "Where is the love in Islam?" Right? And this is a genuine question they have. And to be honest, whenever I've seen Muslims being asked this question, they go on the back foot. They go on the back foot. They don't know how to answer that. Bro, love and compassion are integral traits that human beings look for, and they look for love. They want compassion. So when they find it, for example, in Christianity, although logically it doesn't make sense, they incline towards it. But when it comes to Islam, we have a clear message which makes sense, but we don't share the love. So again, point being, be creative and look for niches. What's missing? Johnny even mentioning love and banging on about it, it makes sense from a dawah perspective. We have to share the love. What do you think, Johnny?
Yeah, bro. I mean, the only way you can, bro, can you mute yourself? It's echoing. Yeah, the only way you can reach people heart, bro, is through the love, bro. I'm telling, obviously, there has to be elements of truth, the right akida. At the same time, you need to be loving and compassionate. This is the most important thing. If you are a da'i, you have to. People have to feel comfortable at being around you. People have to be like they need to. I mean, you have to have loving character. I mean, you cannot be guy who's giving dawah with the self-righteousness. I have something better than you don't have. Let me show you what is good for you. That's the attitude, is like killing the people's soul. And Islam is here to unite the people. Religion is here to unite the people. It's not to divide the people. If it's dividing the people, it's not from God. You have to understand that. You have to be loving. And as I was saying, like, bro, love is the powerful. Our prophet says, if you put love in something, that become more sweeter. And that is the only way you can reach people. And even if they disagree with you, bro, they will remember that akhlaq and that character. Even 10 years afterwards, when life breaks them down, bro, it might click on them and they will think about Islam. You know what I mean? Because we believe that everybody has that fitra, innate natural disposition. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created like that. So that will help anyway.
Okay, brother, before this show descends into lovey-dovey, let me ask you a very a spicy question, yeah? And I'm hoping some comprehensive answers, inshallah, yeah? Sister Fatma Waheed, she says, how would you explain to the sisters who say that women should not go out for the dawah? It's fitna. So what is we can't touch that one before, but this is a different way. So how would you advise those sisters who are telling sisters don't get involved in dawah, whether it's
Yeah. So look, as we've said in previous live streams as well, it's not a case of do it or don't do it. It depends on specific context and the environment and the situation and what you're planning on doing. There are loads of factors in how you're doing it. All of these things need to be considered, and therefore it's literally a case-to-case scenario, right? If someone comes out and says, well, sisters shouldn't do any type of public dawah in any situation, in any context, well, that's not really correct, right? Nor is the opposite true. So the balance has to be found. You have the situation has to be assessed, the environment has to be assessed. What is it that they're planning on doing? What are the potential outcomes of that or the harms of that, etc., etc. And then a decision has to be made. A lot of this can be boiled down to wisdom, just generally, okay, if an environment isn't safe, and there's already some aggression towards Muslims and etc., etc., then it's probably not safe sending sisters out onto the street, right? But if it's another environment, for example, it's a sisters college in Pakistan, like you've given many examples before, it's a women's environment, then absolutely the sisters should be out there with a presence, with a table, materials, engaging with sisters. So it all depends on context and situation, bro. Yeah. There is no right or wrong definitive one way answer, bro, to this question.
No, I agree, bro. And I just echo, and there's an echo as well, but I want to echo you.
Nadeem bhai, there's one more thing, like in our time, the people need to understand something, our Islamic tradition. If you go back to our tradition, you will see that we have women, they were the scholar of the hadith. They used to teach the men on the specific issue of hadith. There's so many. We have
but they don't go in public, bro. They're inside houses. And
of course. What I'm saying, there's a way of giving that you can be productive all the time. Women are like immense treasure for the ummah. This is the powerful thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them the powerful way. It's the most loving way, bro. I mean, they have immense things to do, contribute to the society.
Excellent. So I just want to echo what Imran was saying. That I agree that we would never expect sisters to go out somewhere like, especially in a British town or a city, on a Friday or Saturday night when people are in the pubs and they're drunk and drugs and dance and all the fitna. Even brothers should be careful going out there, but they still do a distance. They're very careful. They organize the experience. We would never expect 2-3 sisters only go out there, have a stall. Absolutely, that's just crazy. There's no wisdom in that at all. No hikmah. But I think the brothers, sisters who are watching, I think have this principle in your mind that have a look at your life, wherever you are, interact with human beings, whether it's your neighborhood, whether it's coffee meetings, whether it's volunteering for local social services. And by the way, this is another practical involvement I've been thinking about. Sister, there's a lot of charity, especially with COVID-19 and other related. There's a lot of opportunity to volunteer. They need volunteers. And these are indoor settings, very safe settings. I think, sisters, if you can, obviously with the permission of your husbands, fathers, and brothers, is volunteer with these places, interact with non-Muslims, show your akhlaq, and that's your outdoor dawah. And just talked about Islam. This is the perfect opportunity. They'll be happy that you're volunteering. You get to go out and about, and you get to do dawah, inshallah. So I think that the principle is that just have a look at your life. Wherever you are, interact with human beings. That's your dawah theater. That's your theater of action, as they say. That's your place of doing it. And there's many sisters are in university. If universities can have, different, again, Pakistan and even in UK, London universities, I've been there, Imran's been there. They have all sorts of different societies, and they organize all sorts of different events. So why can't Muslim sisters also organize events that are focused towards calling to Allah? Yeah, in any setting. And this is universal. And this also leads me on to exhibitions, brothers. Would you agree that if you can't do street dawah, if you're not, especially with active initiation, if you're not confident and you don't feel that you have that personality, then exhibition is a very nice, subtle way, because you put up an amazing exhibition and then people come. So, Johnny, can I have your thoughts on that? And then Imran as well, on exhibitions, something they can do.
Yeah, bro. Obviously, that's an amazing opportunity for the people who don't have, like you said, they are not comfortable of doing things. So if I can help facilitate to arrange a good big exhibition in my city or wherever you are, so that means there's a way you can feel safe. You have the brothers over there, or you have other people who will train you on how to do that. I mean, that's the easiest way to convey the message of Islam to people. There's people that come and see, and they ask you question if they need to, and thousands of materials are being distributed. So I think that's the one in our time, bro. People love to go to exhibitions. You know that if you make it like a really with the ihsan, bro. You know what? As a Muslims, when you do something for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that should be with the ihsan.
Yeah.
I'm talking to myself first. I'm not talking to other people. I'm talking to myself. If I do something for Allah, I should give the best one. If I try to put up a exhibition, that should be like a remarkable one. Should be doing so that people can come. It's not like something I'm just doing in the corner, nobody knows about that. Do a good marketing, do ihsan on the promo or postering, whatever it is, and then put tawakkul.
Can you tell us on the exhibition day, Johnny, like on the day of the exhibition, what made it successful and what brought people in, and how did the brothers and sisters of IDC, how do they interact? Just some insights.
Yeah, but we have a whole setup, like with the brothers. Some brothers will be just on the street showing people the way what is the exhibitions are, and tell them about. Sometimes we will hold the banners outside, even if it's freezing, bro. In Newcastle, it's freezing. Just being in the outside, bro. Some brothers they don't get to go inside. They outside, just telling people we're holding an amazing event about the purpose of life, where you can know about what do we think about Jesus. You know what I mean? And his life. What Muslims?
So what happens inside the exhibition? Like what kind of exhibitions have you got, and what kind of activities are happening inside the exhibition?
Yeah.
Just some ideas for people.
The exhibitions that we've been doing throughout the years, bro, that's called Jesus exhibitions. And when people go there, they get to see the holistic view on what Islam holds the view of on Jesus alayhi salam. So all this stuff people get to see. I'm saying, bro, these exhibitions are really being successful, and we've been getting so much
underused, I think, as well.
From the people.
Underused, yeah. So
I think Soba wants to say something as well.
Assalamu alaikum.
Come to save the day. Like salam.
No, not save the day. I think
I'm joking.
Just to add to what Johnny's saying, I mean, there are a few exhibitions that we've done, and I think when you're talking about exhibitions, like you said, if people are a lot more, I think it's a lot more comfortable for a lot of people, because it takes away that active or that initiation, that trying to do that whole initiation stage. People are already coming to you and seeing the exhibition that's taking place, and then you can have a conversation that way. So we've done various exhibitions, and the thing is, for me, I think there's a few key elements to the whole thing. Number one is that it's all about teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? It's all about having a what's the word? Making sure people are prepared and you have a plan of action as well. And so what we've done is in Newcastle is that we've set up a number of exhibitions, but we put our exhibitions in the city library.
All right. So
the city library being the central location, if you will, it's in the city centre. It's going to have a massive footfall. People are going to the library all the time. So we did it on a Saturday, and we took a room and a hall on various occasions. Now we try and link it. So, for example, when it's Easter time, we'll run the Jesus exhibition. So we have banners on Jesus, on Isa alayhi salam, telling them from the Muslim perspective. We have like a kids corner where kids can come and color in and stuff like that as well. So it keeps them, parents and kids engaged. Also do like food and things like that, little cupcakes and stuff like that. So we've had that. We've also done the exhibition on the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which was a really, really strong and good exhibition. I felt, again, same place, but throughout the year, doing it different times. And another one that we've done is the Discover the Quran exhibition. Now that's again a really good exhibition itself, because what we added to that was, and the thing is, you've got to be a bit creative, like we've talked about, being creative. Being creative in the sense that things like we had a Quran booth where people could listen to Quran, handing out copies of the Quran itself, like artifacts as well, like the largest Quran and things like that. So things like that really, really do entice people to come in as well. So I think that's, in terms of exhibition, that's what I'd add.
Have you got any comments or questions, sir, while you're here? Highlight it for you.
No, just listening and enjoying the show.
No, there are questions there, bro. Do you want to highlight?
You want me to answer them? You want me to highlight
them? Put it on the.
All right, 1 second. Let's go from the beginning, guys. Then. All right, ready?
Yeah, beginning. Okay. You're gonna go to the beginning.
You got some salams to give back.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi
wa barakatuh. I've put a question up there. How can you practically give dawah? And we're getting involved in the discussion. Again, a lot more salams coming through. Salams. Okay. Salam. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. For Ustad Nadeem.
Qawali Ustad.
Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so here's a comment. First comment here is, I'm Muslim, but at some point in my life I got doubts, needed dawah and needed answers. So I was there before, and that what motivates me to give dawah, and usually I love to share with them my experience. I think that happens to quite a lot of people. Your thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I remember the first time when I got involved in dawah. Like, I remember clearly till today. I was going to work in London Bridge. I was in the underground, so I had some dawah materials in my bag. I used to carry all the time. So for some reason there was a delay on the train. So I was standing on the platform. I see like so many people, because I just got involved dawah. I was so excited. I pull out the dawah leaflet and I'm going to everyone, distributing the materials to them. I remember that time there was like three reasons to believe in God. We had some on the booklet like that. So I was giving to everyone, and some people took, some people didn't take, but some people was like really interested, and I seen them, they get into the train and reading them. You know what I mean? So I mean, obviously, one point of your life, you completely ghafil, you don't know about Islam, and the minute when for some reason Allah gives you the hidayah, and what it could be YouTube channel, it could be one article, anything. When Allah wants to guide you, He will guide you by any means. And then you get, the beauty of Islam, subhanAllah, it makes you selfless. It doesn't make you selfish. The minute you realize that this is so valuable, and Allah expand your heart, and you're capable to loving people more. So what do? You get excited to share that beauty to other people. You want to save them. You want to save their soul, because you've been through the depression, that you know how difficult it is to live without the God in your life. And I'm being really, really serious, like emotional as well. Like, subhanAllah, that ni'mah that we have, Islam, I don't think, sometimes I feel like we don't get to understand, like, subhanAllah, the most powerful thing that we have, that is Iman. No matter what calamities you have, because of that enable you to carry on. So, this is the beauty of Islam. So when you get to know all this stuff, you want to share. And when someone facilitates all this to happen, I mean, that's just amazing. That's why you have doubt. It goes out of the window, and you want to convey the message.
Yeah. Johnny's really dropping them today. Allah Mubarak. MashaAllah.
Balls, mate. Balls.
Allah Mubarak. You know what it is, bro? You're bringing some amazing points. My slight fear is that there's a lot of brothers and sisters here. They'll learn the motivation. They'll be boosted. That Iman boost. But then, especially when it comes to dawah, because when it comes to charity, let me be a bit raw now as well. Yeah, Johnny's got me going. Yeah, when it comes to charity, when it comes to seeking knowledge, like study courses with the shiur and everything, when it comes to taking lessons online, brothers and sisters around the world, Ummah, are on it strong, hard. They will get involved. But when it comes to dawah, it's a very slow getting involved. It's a very slow, and this is why I wanted to make this a much more practical. That, you know, what are you going to actually do after this show, inshallah? This may be the last show. We may continue. Let's see. It's up to the audience, inshallah. But what will happen to us as human beings, we always put dawah at the bottom of the list. Yeah, other things will come for. Whereas for me, calling to Allah has to be up there, you know, with seeking knowledge and ibadah. So this is what we need to really push, that, brothers and sisters. And maybe this is where I can ask you one: is how are you right now? It's Ramadan. It's the year 2020, 17th of May, on at 5 p.m. Other than the show, how are you involved in calling to Allah, the most rewardable action in Islam? Tell us in the comments, brothers and sisters. I'm going going raw here, yeah, inshallah. But anyway, so brothers and sisters, this is why I want to give this as many tips as possible. I want to give a 2-3, inshallah, and then we'll continue with the questions, right? You can do dawah over coffee and tea. So not other street dawah. If you know a non-Muslim, if you have any kind of interaction, any kind of banter, any kind of good rapport, offer them coffee and tea with some confidence, with some motivation, with some training. Prepare, engage in dawah. Have the coffee and then ask them a quick question, a beautiful question. What is the purpose of life? What do you think of Islam? Be honest. If you have any issues with Islam, Muslims, be honest, Sarah. Be honest, John. Yeah. Be honest, Kumar. Be honest, Shiv. Whatever. Yeah. You can do, for example, I know some, again, brothers and sisters, they've done dawah in the park, because a park is a place where people congregate, not street, the parks, right? I've seen it happen in the UK, mashallah, many years ago, and I've seen it more in Pakistan again. And this is good because in parks you have families. I know sister in Chennai, in India, she went to the beach and she got involved in dawah because there's families there. It's a safe place. In the daytime, she went with 3-4 sisters with a brother, and she had cards, and she went up to the families, and most of them were Christians and Hindus, and she engaged in dawah, beautiful dawah for 2-3 hours, mashallah, Allahumma barak. So these are just some, inshallah. Not just one thing, inshallah. And there's many other ideas, but what about, you know, your contact list? You know, the phone contact list is the one place we hardly check, because we keep on adding contacts, but we never check who's in our contact. So maybe just go down, take some time out, a bit tedious, for the sake of Allah, for His pleasure, scroll down your list and have a look who needs nasiyah, who needs dawah, and then call them or send them. And you know what? One last thing quickly. WhatsApp videos, just like the video we talked about, a viral awakening. And mashallah, even Muhammad Hijab has produced some really 2 amazing videos just last few days, which really powerful, beautifully made. Dawah's made it easy for us now. We just need to WhatsApp or Telegram or Facebook Messenger, send it, and let's see what their reaction is. Send it and ask their reaction. So just some practical tips there, inshallah, brothers. Sean said, how do I press 1? Just do that on. You pressed 1, so it's okay, it's fine. Alicia says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Okay, any other questions or comments? No.
Yeah, hold on. There's loads, mate. 1 second.
Oh, there's loads. Okay.
All right, hold on. Where were we? Yes, we were here. So, good manners is the base, and then you build on it, start conveying. So I think this is in relation to what we talked about earlier, when Johnny was saying that good manners is the way forward. When it comes to your manners, that's your dawah. But I think what he's talking about is that it goes hand in hand. But as Brother Hasnain says, it's the base and the foundation for it, which is a good point. Calling to Allah demands communication in some way. So good akhlaq paired with conveying is the whole package, inshallah.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, there's that one. I think we were talking about Zoom meetings.
There's a couple of questions.
Okay, 1 second. Here's one. No, we've done that one.
Yep.
I was reading Tafsir Surah Yusuf, and I realized that when the prisoner asked Hazrat Yusuf for interpretation, he first gave them dawah and talked about Tawheed.
Somebody's been attending our dawah training, mashallah.
Indeed. So when someone asks you for help, you can use that time for dawah to non-Muslims or practicing, non-practicing.
Yes, very good. Yes.
Good point. Beautiful meeting. A few agreements with Brother Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny's had a few
Johnny,
people agreeing with him.
Johnny's had a good sohr, mashallah.
It's
And
better
he's
to
on it.
do. It's all about the love, isn't it?
John,
It's all about to do for women. It's better to do organization instead of streets. Maybe. Okay. Here's a question: how should one da'i treat one another? We always talk about how they should talk to people, but I see a lot of differences and misunderstandings amongst religious people. General observation. Good.
yeah, Imran should answer this because the way he treats me.
It's a
No,
very
I
good point.
I don't want Imran to answer it.
No, it's a very good point, bro. Look,
Okay.
without going off on the tangent, there
That's
is
purely
always
like
gonna,
the relationship me and Imran have.
yeah, I was gonna use that as an example. So the
I'm just gonna interrupt Imran when he's speaking, bro. That's so rude. Sorry, Imran. Carry on.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Yeah. So look, there's definitely disagreements, but it's not only in the dawah; it's in any sort of facet of life, bro. You're gonna there's disagreements amongst everyone, right? If no group of people are ever gonna fully agree with each other, but it's how you deal with those differences. That's the key. So one of the things that I would really recommend, and that we try to do here is on. This is why even on the live stream we've disagreed with each other at times, right? But if you disagree with someone, you need to make sure that you point that out. That's the key. Clarify it, speak to each other, and get it out the way. Basically, that's the best thing you could do, like we always do, right? So whatever it is, mention it with respect, and like Johnny says, love, and just mention it, clarify it, and get over it and move on. Basically, if you agree, that's great. If you don't, well, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think maybe the point could be that the brothers they work in different organizations, different jama'as, different teams, and what happens is sometimes natural human instinct is you become defenses of your group or team. So what you need to do is again check your intention. If I was to give a Pakistan context, one of the things that you could argue that weaken the dawah is that the people they're calling to the jama'ah, recruiting the jama'ah, not to Allah. So really, you should be thinking, who cares about that? If I'm working, for example, youth club, I'm very passionate about it. But if I see another brother from another organization, another team, and also engage in dawah, I'm not going to try and put him down. It's not a cutthroat. It's not adventure capitalism. It's not like, let's undercut them. No, as long as the main goal is call to Allah always. And the way we should treat is with akhlaq, with manners. And as soon as manners go out, then you have to question the dawah. Then you have to question that. If there's cursing, they're a bunch of idiots. Those guys don't know how to do dawah. That's not akhlaq, really. And you really misrepresented the dawah, subhanAllah, which is supposed to be with Allah. So to Allah. So yeah, just some points on that, inshallah.
I'm gonna disagree with you, brother, slightly.
Oh.
Okay, so I am and I'm not, but the reason I say that is because I think you're absolutely right when it comes to, I mean, look, it's not just necessarily about da'is treating each other, it's just general Muslim etiquette and how we treat one another.
Yeah.
Right? We may have differences in opinions, they may be minor, they may be major, right? But, look, at the end of the day, that person's not he's not left the fold of Islam. Right, we may disagree with on a lot of things, but so the point is that we still treat each other with good manners, good akhlaq. That's a general across the board, right?
Yeah.
But I would say this, that sometimes you don't like, and it's human nature really, that you don't always necessarily get on with everyone. Some people, have completely different ways and approaches and styles.
Yeah,
they don't fit your style and they don't fit the way you do.
Which you passionately disagree with.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say that look, it's all about working with like-minded people. I've said this for a long time because that's the only real way that the Dawah is going to progress.
It's counterproductive to sit down and bash it out for a few hours.
Well, I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't mind the fact that if you have people that you do disagree with, because that happens in life. But if you're working with people who are not like-minded, they're not on the same, they don't have the same objective. Their objectives are maybe different. Then sometimes you can't work with people. Sometimes it's difficult with people. True. But that doesn't mean then that your akhlaq goes out the window, right? Or the way you treat each other, it goes out the window. It's just, I can't do the things the way you do it. I'm on a different understanding and different wavelength than you, so it is what it is. I mean, I'll give you a really good example in terms of like how da'is treat each other, right? I'm talking about giants in the Dawah, right? I'm talking about Sheikh Abdurrahim McCarthy and our beloved Sheikh Abdurrahim Green. Okay. So, and I hope they don't mind me mentioning this, even if they're watching. If they are watching, I hope they're watching. But even if they're not watching,
I'm going to share it with them afterwards, bro. Don't worry.
It's been mentioned in public anyway, because Sheikh McCarthy put a video out on something, okay, and then Sheikh Green,
yeah, I remember.
He actually he disagreed with him, and instead of just putting a refutation video out, Sheikh Green called him up and said, Sheikh, you know, this is what I think, this is what I agree with. I disagree with this, and etc. Sheikh McCarthy put a new video out saying, look, this. I had a phone call from Sheikh Abdurrahim. He disagreed with me on these points, but that's the beauty of it, that we can disagree and disagree, but because he's my brother, and I know how beautiful he is to me as a brother, he gave me nasiha like that. And where's that? You know, bro, nowadays nasiha's gone out the window, man. This idea of nasiha's gone out the window, and now we're living in a refutation culture. You know, that kind of culture where people want to get one over each other. Like, instead of, like, I see videos going back and forward of people. Instead of videos going back and forward of people, why don't you pick up the phone and call a person? We've lost that. I blame millennials, and that's me done.
You know, bro, that's a very beautiful point. There's one more thing. You know, what ends up happening sometimes is both parties are not on the same wavelength. So what we need to do, echo. Someone's giving me echo, subhanAllah. So what we need to do, what ends up happening is, like, one of the parties has that right intention. Okay, he's my brother, I disagree with him, but I need to tell him, right? I need to have that one-to-one, face-to-face, you know, discussion about it. Just let him know how I feel, and let him know why I feel the way I feel, and then leave it with him to decide, right? But what ends up happening, one party does the right thing, the other party gets really frustrated and agitated, and they don't want to listen, right? And then this ends up happening is also, it's a case of knowing when to sort of stop, because sometimes what ends up happening in that situation, you end up in an argument, you go back and forth, and you waste so much time, right? So for example, in the dawah, bro, the last thing you want is to get into an internal feud or into an internal discussion which wastes so much time that you could be using otherwise in getting the message of Islam out to people, right? But then again, that's to be balanced against, if someone is going off track and doing something and it has a big impact on the dawah, you have to mention it to them, and you have to clarify, because it's not about you or them, it's about the dawah. So where is that balance? And the best thing you could do in that situation, I guess, is let the brother know, whoever it is, that, you know, I love you for the sake of Allah. However, I completely disagree with you on this point, and here's the reasons why, and here's the reasons why this, I believe, is going to be negative for the da'wah, and this is why I believe you should remove this or take this down or not do this. If they agree, and if they don't agree, they can discuss it with you. But, you know, if they take you on board, alhamdulillah, you move on and they move on. But if they don't, and they start arguing and they're like, no, I'm going to do this, well, what can you do in that situation? You've done your bit. And then you have to make that decision. Well, you know, I should probably move on at this point and carry on the work, etc. Right? But that doesn't mean you shouldn't stop advising people just because you're afraid you're going to get the wrong reaction. Right? You have to continue. You have to advise. It's a part of our deen. If you know someone's going off track and you know someone's doing the wrong thing, you need to advise them and do that in the best way possible, with love and with compassion. Right, Johnny?
Yeah, he doesn't want to talk. He's muted. So I'll come in instead.
No, sorry. I said, yeah, that's fine, alhamdulillah. That's totally, you said I agree with that, and that's how it should be done. But for me, I believe one of the things was, subhanAllah, I like Sulbai said, like, we lost respect for each other, and also understand he's your brother, he's your Muslim brother. And if you're really genuinely concerned, like, make dua for him. And if you think like he is losing himself, just get up middle of the night, show your real concern before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you didn't do that, then you just don't have no right to complain, like, okay, I advised him, he didn't listen, or whatever it is. But I feel like it's all about in the heart in here. You know, sometimes we like to complain so much, like, this brother is there, he's not doing things right. You know, that's sometimes you need to reflect on yourself. Maybe my heart got rusted. Maybe I'm not feeling anything inside. When you don't feel rahmah, mercy for other people, that's the biggest sign for you to take a seat back and wash your soul with the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's all I can say. I mean, sometimes it's just, we need to keep washing our souls.
Brothers, look, if you don't mind, sir, I've got a request for Johnny today, bro. You know, one of Johnny's catchphrases that's become quite famous amongst the brothers, and probably on live on the Newcastle FM and etc. from last year, is share the love, right? Share the love, share the love, share the love, right? And it's a powerful message. But what I want to ask Johnny today is give us some practical tips now, bro, on how you share the love in a practical dawah scenario, bro. Give us practical tips. Don't just tell us share the love.
I
How do
love
we
how you put this guy on the spot like that, bro.
No, but
but
and to be honest, I'm gonna learn as well, bro. Because we hear it, we know it's true, but how do you do it practically? So give us like 3 or 4 points, bro, that people can implement.
Before
Bro,
you do,
this is-
Johnny, make it really, really brief, if you don't mind, because there's some quick questions in there. So, and we got time as well.
yeah, that's bro. Jazakallah khair, Nadeem bhai, for
You got
saving
10
me.
seconds.
Yeah, basically, bro, this Ramadan maybe had an impact on me. All I'm saying, bro, the only way, bro, you can love your brother, just think that he's my Muslim brother, and also try to understand that this dunya, you are in the board of like tribulation. You're gonna have the hard time. You're gonna have a disagreement with your wife, with your brother, or with your colleagues. But that's not the end. The end is like no matter what, ignore all that. Seek the rida of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's your goal, brothers. Doesn't matter who. Forgive the people, not for them, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you humble yourself before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make yourself like a drowning man, Allah will elevate your status. And I wish, inshallah, Allah grant us all of them those maqam, that status. Because when I speak like that, it's not like definitely I achieved that maqam, but definitely I have that irada, intention to achieve that. Allah loves the people who humble themselves. That's all it is, bro. And that's the only way you can do, respecting each other and sharing the love. That's it.
Absolutely, bro. Jazakallah. Really, really beautiful, mashallah. And you've been, mashallah, giving some amazing gems today, bro. Mashallah. Inshallah. I hope people go to your YouTube channel. But the thing is it in Bengali or are you going to do some English videos as well?
It's
No, he's not allowed to
Bengali
do
and
English.
English, bro.
He's not allowed to do English.
Okay,
then
yeah.
we'll
That
have
niche
that.
is
We'll
already, bro. That niche has already been fulfilled. Why is he doing English? You're not
there's
allowed.
no point pay people subscribing because they can't understand Bengali.
Well,
But
they
anyway.
can still subscribe, support the brother.
Just some subtitles. Yeah,
No, bro.
maybe.
Listen, you might not have a. You might have a friend who speaks Bengali, and then pass it on. You know, like you subscribe. You have to
Can
subscribe.
I quickly challenge that? It's not about subscribers. Don't worry about the subscribers, man. Just keep doing it. Nadeem bhai, it's not about subscribers, bro.
That's true. You
Yeah,
know,
Nadeem.
one of my
The right way.
one of
When
the
has it ever been about subscribing with me, bro? Talks the man who's got.
No, but Johnny, keep going, bro. Mashallah, because trust me, no one's doing Bengali videos about Islam
telling you.
and atheism and
Yeah, of
Bro,
course, 100%.
bro, this is what if I was allowed to social if social distancing was cancelled today, I'd go around to his house and give him a good backhand, right? Because I've told him this. He knows I've told him this, so he doesn't mind me saying this.
Bro,
I've told
Sahel
him this
means
for
it, bro.
over a
If
year.
Sahel could learn Bengali and do the
Bro.
videos himself, he would do it.
Bro, for over a
You need to
year,
make sure
for
you do
over a year, I've been telling this guy.
No,
forget
me and Solbhai had an
Don't
argument
do it.
for 5 hours. We were going to London, and Solbhai was telling me, "Why are you doing this channel? Why are you doing
I've
that? Why
smashed him
not
over
doing
it,
that?"
bro. He doesn't listen. He didn't listen, and then all of a
Let's make
sudden,
this practical, right? All
alhamdulillah.
those who are watching, I'm sure all of you got people from Bangladesh or on your Facebook or on your social media contacts. Share Brother Johnny's channel with them so they can benefit and you get a reward as well, inshallah.
Johnny will put the link in the description at the end of the show, inshallah.
So
There's a few more.
everyone big Bengali contacts, no problem, inshallah.
Yeah.
So let's can we do this one question, then we'll kind of wind up. Yeah, not this
This
one. No, Sister Ariba, she's asked too many questions. Well, I'm sure she doesn't mind. Sister Farheen.
He said that, not me.
Yeah,
Where's the question? Sorry, where's my going?
Farheen says,
it. You never asked too many questions.
Okay.
and I hope Brother Imran doesn't mind. Sister Farheen watches Brother Imran's videos, and she's been very inspired by him over the years, mashallah. So, so this would be a good chance for Imran to answer this question. I want to ask how to deal with arrogant people who don't want to listen or talk about anything related to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or Islam. And this is, I think, for non-Muslim you're giving dawah to, and a Muslim that needs nasiyah.
Can I just sorry before you do it, because this question kind of relates to it anyway, because it's about what's the litmus test of like giving up on a person. Huh?
I'm joking.
Okay, I'll let you guys carry on. Imran.
Nadeem's having a bit of a malfunction right now. So look, the question. And the thing is, most people we deal with today, you will find most people are, to some degree, they have a sense of arrogance or don't want to listen or don't want to pay attention and they don't care. Best thing to do in those scenarios is just to really get people to try and understand that, you know, this false sense of independence that they have, that they feel like things are good and they're not going to change, and it's always going to be like this. That they need to realize this is it's an illusion, honestly. Like you just people. And this is the thing: when people become comfortable and things get easy, people turn away from God. They're not interested. They don't want to listen. They don't want to. They don't want to believe. They don't want to do anything like this. All we have to try to do in that situation is we could do a few things. Number one, try to remind them of the reality of life. That, like we said yesterday, that you come from something insignificant and you're going to end up under the ground. And you're here for maybe 30, 40 years, 50 years if you're best, 60 years more. It's a very short period of time. So we have no reason to have this type of arrogance, right? And that humbles people a lot. And that's something Allah does in the Quran. So that's what I would do. The second thing would be is sometimes you may need to dig a bit deeper and find out what the underlying issues are. What is it with this person that's making them so sure of themselves, right? That's making them maybe so arrogant. Because sometimes what may be the case is that that person may have had a bad experience in their life, blamed God, may have a hatred or disliking towards God, which now they're expressing through this type of bravado where they're saying, look, I don't need anything, I don't need anyone, I'm not interested. What they really mean is, I'm actually quite angry at God and I don't want to believe in him and I don't want to worship him because he did this to me or that to me. And that's based on the misunderstanding. So try to dig a bit deeper and find out what the real issues are, because when you deal with the root cause, the rest of the problems are resolved. Because we have to remember, it's human nature to want to know God and to worship him, right? It's a part of human nature. So even those people that come across very arrogant, that I don't want to listen, I don't want to believe, I'm not interested, even they deep down inside have that affinity to want to worship. That's been covered or clouded, or they're being pushed away from that for a reason. Try to find out what that reason is. There's two main reasons normally. Number one, it's just they have this false sense of independence and superiority and things are good. Try to remove that by reminding them of their reality. And the second one normally is a misunderstanding where they've ended up hating or disliking God, and now that's being expressed in the way that I'm not interested. If that's the case, find out what the root cause is, clarify those things, and then move forward with that, inshallah.
And just quickly want to add, bro, also, what you need to do is maybe sometimes change your approach. Let's say you are debating one point, step back and try a completely different way. So maybe they just as the theme today, share the love. Maybe there's genuinely a bit of love. Maybe ask them, what's happening in your life these days. Maybe there's some issues I can advise you with. So rather than trying to debate the point, because a lot of people get arrogant because they think that you're cornered to their way of life and they're going to lose the argument. So change that style. On another practical level, to Sister Ariba, she's asking, when do you give up? It's not giving up. It's just changing your style. What I do is, let's say I'm chatting to a brother, a non-Muslim, and I'm trying to think of a case in point, but there's a few where I've given the videos, I've had the chat, I've had the call, I've even met them with them, they've given all the arguments, and they're just stubborn. They're just arrogant, stubborn. They're not moving. Then what you need to do, look, you say to them, here's my number, here's the website, here's a YouTube channel, subscribe, notifications on, Epistemics or Johnny's channel, and then leave it there, and then just be there for them. Say, look, I'm here, I'm right here. If you want to come and chat another time, a few months, years, I'm here for you, bro. I'm here for you, sister. And that's it. And then move on. There's plenty of fish in the sea. We sometimes what happens as a du'at, we think that I need to get this person. But then your need starts changing. Like, why is this person not come to Islam? Or why are they not changing? Why, so it gets you come onto a very ajib ground. So whereas the dawah, only Allah, as we know, can change the hearts. Only Allah can soften the hearts. So at some point you're gonna have to withdraw, move on to someone else who will maybe listen to you a bit better, inshallah. Have you got time for any? Yeah, here he is. Producer Saab.
Oh, there he is. All right, very quickly. There's a few more comments. I think because we're actually near the end of the show. So here's a comment. Dawah is essentially calling to what you follow and why you follow it. So you have to be real to all and fellow callers. If your character needs improvement, I think you need to get in check first. Good point. You're not going to talk about Rafal Yadain on the Dawah table. The main point is Tawheed, and that's the same for everyone. Very true. Religion is Nasiha. A very good point by Brother Sahil. MashaAllah. He makes some good points, that guy. SubhanAllah, perfect explained. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Can I add a small story on Rafal Yadain, a Dawah story, really quickly? I don't know if you've got time. Well, in Pakistan, we went to the mountains. This is last year. And one brother, he actually brought a Chinese atheist with him. And he just tagged along with him. I think he just said, "Look, we're all going on a ride and come join him." So when we went there, I obviously, the brother said, "Look, Nadeem, bhai, chat to him. He's an atheist, etc., etc." So what happened was we were chatting, and then time for Dhuhr came. Now, us brothers, we have tolerance and love for everyone, love. But, we follow a certain way. We are convinced of a certain style of salah, right? Rafa Yadain. So Ziyabai says, "Look, Nadeem," as a joke, he said, "Nadeem bhai, you've been chatting for an hour and nothing's happening. Get him to pray with us, and with the Rafa style, and that might open him up." You know what's really crazy? He did pray with us. He loved it, and the whole question was, "So why did you put your hands in it and this and that?" And that got really curious, and that was a whole discussion the next half an hour.
Interesting.
So
Very good.
don't ever, don't ever put down Rafi at them. But anyway, at them, inshallah.
Another comment. Everyone has different experiences, and they bring those experiences with them in the now. Except those with true faith who understand the truth of Quran. Good point. So I'll put this up, yeah? If you want the show to continue after Ramadan, type 1. Check it out, people. People are wanting this show, guys. So, now you have a responsibility.
So is Mr. Imran Hussain available? They want
to responsibility to the peoples. Infinitely.
Let's pick a day and time.
Exist in the real world, but infinitely, bro.
Anyway,
so let's do this. What we'll do is, let's pick a time and maybe a day, and let's do it once a week at least going forward.
Bismillah, yeah? Sounds good to me.
Maybe not 2 days, but 1 day a week, and maybe it's probably going to be a weekday. What we can do, guys, is we can discuss it and get back to the audience and the brothers and sisters that are here, and just share it with them and just announce it and launch it. I think it'd be good, inshallah.
This brother's from Bangladesh. I can tell from the name Chowdhury. So, brother, have you subscribed to Johnny's channel, which is People of what?
Reason.
People reason.
People of reason, yeah.
I agree with Johnny. Love must be the basis. I think the basis. Love must be the basis. If love exists, then our senses will be acted according to the situation of dawah or islah. Very good point. You have to make dua for it as well. The dialogue, mashallah, the dialogue you bring is absolutely essential. It starts with communication. Sisters in Seattle, Washington, guys, you've got people watching in Seattle, Washington. Alhamdulillah.
So you're gonna start some dawah in Washington, Sister Salwa.
Inshallah. Sisters, if the dawah is taking place in Washington, in Seattle, if there's any support and help, by all means, let us know. Inshallah, we can help.
It's a very good dawah organization, mashallah.
So my time is very different, so you don't hear the whole show. No problem. It is recorded, so you can watch it later on. Also, Sister said that she's waiting for me to cut my hair. So let's not forget. So just a bit of, you all know the story behind this, right? We're doing our fundraiser. For IDC, and the target was to raise £3,000. I said if we reach the target, I would shave my hair live on air. So
you have to do it now, bro. You have to do it, man.
We hit our target, alhamdulillah. So it's happening tonight. Tonight.
Zero.
At 10:30, inshallah.
Number 0, right?
Can you donate it to Johnny?
No, not a 0. I said number 2. I said.
No. Number 2 doesn't make sense.
So look, you're not losing anything. Just donate it to Johnny. He'll make use of it.
I'm sure Johnny could think of a few things to do with it. Yeah. And that's it. More people saying number 1, bro. Alhamdulillah. Guys, I'll leave you to it to finish off your show. May Allah bless you. It's been a great show. And thank you very much for taking the time out to come to do the show this Ramadan. I'll leave you guys to finish off, inshallah. Then I'll let you guys close. Assalamu alaikum.
I love the way Sahel comes in and out. It's like a little genie, the genie of the show.
That's what I do.
It's like the genie of the show, man. Mashallah. He just pops in and out, and he does his questions, put his points, and he's gone. Mashallah. Yeah, brothers and sisters, look, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm sure Nadeem and Johnny would agree as well. It's been a really very enlightening, fun experience for me as well. Spending more time with Johnny and Nadeem, and what's been beautiful, I think, about the show. I don't know what you guys think of it, but we've been able to be ourselves with each other on the show, because this is how we are offline anyway, right? We crack a few jokes, crack each other every now and then, have a bit of a banter, talk about the dawah. That's essentially what we do anyway. So it's been really fun doing that with you guys, and it's, inshallah, we're going to carry this on. Obviously the format may be slightly different, the time may be different, the day may be different, but inshallah we'll make this a regular thing once a week. and we'll be bringing you more content over the coming months and years, inshallah. It's Jazakallah khair. May Allah bless you guys. And I'm going to hand over to Nadeem and Johnny to wrap up. May Allah bless you guys. Assalamu alaikum.
Johnny, any last few words?
Yes, bro. I just want to say, like, this is the last few nights of Ramadan. Please, let's focus and try to connect with your Rabb as much as you can. All I'm saying, like, please, brothers, understand that the biggest weapon that you and I have is the connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the time, beg Allah to open the path of spirituality so that we can connect and we can see the reality as reality. Because this life is illusion. We need to understand that. We literally got caught up with so many things. Wallahi, I am talking to myself. May Allah allow us to see that path that where we can see the reality of this life. That's all I want to say. Let's go all out.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, excellent show. I really enjoyed it, alhamdulillah. Last few points really quickly is that, brothers and sisters, may Allah accept not just our little tips and advice and talks of dawah in this show. May Allah accept it, and may this be the deed that gets us through the line and over the line on when it matters. That's the main thing. And the other thing is, mashallah, you guys who are attending, we were talking about involvement dawah. This is also a very good way of involving dawah. It's a show. It's a dawah show. And if by you sharing this show, and you have been, mashallah, perhaps some non-Muslim, perhaps some Muslim who's on the shubahat, doubts of Islam, on the edge of Islam, they may see this come in, and through this they may be inside to go back to Allah, to return to Allah, to come to Allah. So yeah, Jazakallah khair, may Allah accept from all. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Awkward, this, isn't it? The awkward silence. I really should end it, shouldn't I? Nadeem, why are you doing that awkward smile, bro? What's with the awkward smile?
No, this is how you end shows.
Is that how you end show?
I'm trained.
You just stand there, just wait there until everyone ends, just like.
I'm just waiting for you to end it.
That awkward smile, just. Johnny, what are you saying, bro? What?
Well, it's still live, bro, isn't it?
He's drained, bro. He's drained. He's drained. He's
pick out
all right, I'm ending it. I'm ending it now. Well, not now. Johnny, stop. Why are you doing that awkward smile, bro? Just do it properly. Sign off, bro, like this. Sign off like this.
Yeah.
Salute.